Good afternoon. It's Betty Shan again, and I do want to say I appreciate all of you that has joined, and I am so glad of my subscribers, and I'm also glad for those that listen that don't want to subscribe. And I appreciate each one of you being in tune with me today. And all I can say today, it is hot here. It's 100 degrees right now. But while Connor was here, I got to thinking about when he was here, we talked about we was going to get an egg. And a lot of people around here will say it's so hot outside, you could fry an egg on the sidewalk. And I told him, I said, Connor, if it gets up to 110 again, we're going to fry that egg out there on the sidewalk. We're going to try it. Well, he wasn't here when it turned 110 again, so we never did get to do that. But I thought, when I find out it's 110, I may do that myself just to see if that egg will fry out there on that sidewalk. If I do, I'll take a picture and let you see what happens. And I've had people tell me, said, Miss Shan, you need to mix up bread and put some bread in the mailbox and close the door on the mailbox and let it bake. And I thought, oh my, I'm not going to mix up bread just to put in the mailbox because I wouldn't eat the bread. But I got to thinking I could get me some heat and serve rolls and put it out there in that mailbox and try it and see if it gets hot enough. Wouldn't that be a surprise visit to a mailman to open the mailbox and there sits my bread? I would probably never live that down, but that's a good idea too. I may try that someday if it ever gets that hot again. But I hope you're having a blessed day, and I've been having a blessed day, and I got to thinking again about my little grandma. I have told y'all that my grandpa, he drank, and there was one evening there that she got tired of grandpa going off. Of course, I know he was down drinking with his old cronies, visiting and telling jokes and all that kind of stuff. He was enjoying the fellowship as much as he was enjoying the drinking. But he did drink, and she wanted to keep him at home. So she decided she's going to make some home brew. So she went and she got the corn, and she got what all it takes. How she knew how to make home brew, I have no idea. But it was going to be corn liquor because she put corn in it. And it set out till it fermented and made whiskey, how you do it. I don't know how you do it, but she did. And then the days wore on, and finally she told him, she said, I made you some liquor so you can stay at home and drink and you don't have to walk down there to that bar. And that didn't work. He walked down to the bar anyway. And like I said, I feel like he was doing it mainly to get around a bunch of them farmers. He was a farmer. He was a sharecropper. And let me explain that to you, because there'll be people come, well, what in the world is a sharecropper? Well, back in their day, a lot of men farmed for farmers that didn't want to plow and work their land. And when the season was over, they called it a sharecropper because they shared the fruits of their labor. In other words, the money they made on that crop was divided up among the sharecropper and the farmer that owned the land. And that's what my grandpa did. He was a sharecropper at that time. He was raising food on other people's lands, but when they sold it, the owner got so much of it, and he got so much of it. So that explains sharecropper to some of you kids that's younger than me, and some of you my age might not know because there hadn't been much of that going on for years and years. But anyway, and it may still be going on. I don't know. There may still be some sharecroppers out there somewhere. But anyway, I wanted you to understand what I was talking about. So anyway, he'd like to sit around with them farmers, I'm sure, and talk about their crops and different things. But she wanted him to be at home because that's where her and the children were at, the 9 children they had. And so anyway, she let him know that she had made some home brew, or she had made corn liquor, and that he could stay home and drink. Well, days went by and he didn't drink it. He still went to the bar. he wanted to go down there and do his visiting and everything, so he'd take off of the evening and go down there. And so she finally got fed up with it one day. She thought, well, I went through all of this to try to get him to stay home. He ain't going to stay home. So she went and she got that and she poured it out. And some of them said she poured some of it in the chicken trough. She said she just pitched it outside because she was upset because he had went back to the bars. And the kids laughed and laughed and laughed. All of the kids talked about this when they were younger. They said there wasn't a chicken one on the place that could walk straight. Said Grandma made all the chickens drunk on her home brew. And of course it was funny to her as the years went by. And at the time it wasn't too funny to her because she had made that to keep him at home, and he still went and drank. And she gave the liquor to the chickens and they all got drunk and couldn't stand up. Said there wasn't a chicken walking straight on the place. And anyway, we can think of different things that's happened in our lifetime. We've got so much to remember, so much to tell to our children. That's a story that would die if some of the other children hadn't told us about it, where we can tell our grandchildren and they get a laugh out of the fact that Grandma Burkham made the chickens drunk one time. You hold your chin up, keep a smile on your face, be kind to your neighbors, and live for the Lord.